Hi, this is Eric Kampmann, and this is Sunrise, and I'm with Chuck Davis, Senior Pastor of Stanwich Church.
We've been talking about Eric's new book, Getting to Know Jesus. Eric, we are coming to this aspect of Jesus coming into Jerusalem for the last time, and there's this picture of him weeping over Jerusalem.
Yeah, what occurs to me almost immediately is my mind kind of sweeps back in terms of history. It goes back 1,000 years to David, the city that he established, and then the city that Solomon more or less perfects. He builds the temple, and he is a great architect and a great builder. But at that time, certain indications of corruption are coming into the picture in the latter days of Solomon. And much of the sweep of the Old Testament is how Jerusalem ultimately, in about, I think it's 586 BC.
587.
587 BC, it's captured. And it's 70 years later the people come back to it. So Jerusalem is at the center of the biblical story, and the birth of Jesus Christ happens in Bethlehem, which is only a few miles, really, kind of almost like a suburb. So much of this story is built around this city that has had a conflicted past, but now it's going to be the center of a drama that is going to have universal implications.
Well, Jesus definitely would have had a certain love for the city because it was the place of God's revelation. It was the temple place, was the holy place. It was David's city. And Jesus comes in the line of David to reestablish God's rule. But for centuries, the city had been dormant. And in fact, part of the dormancy of power and it had been taken away from them was that the people had put a confidence that they could live any way they wanted and God would always protect that city. The prophet Jeremiah says, you say, Jerusalem, 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 as if the city itself holds the power, but it's God's presence in the city which is fostered in relationship with the people. And so Jesus has this love and yet understanding of the limitations of the city, and his praying and crying over the city is about the people that are there that have missed the love of God, that in all of the trappings of God's manifest presence around them through a temple and through a whole religious system leading to him, they had missed it. And so Jesus feels this sense of loss for the people living in the city.
And then one other point I just would build upon what you just said is that Jesus, being who he is, has an understanding of exactly what you said. He's not weeping over the city that is there then. He's weeping over the lostness of mankind, even where the Holy Temple is, that they have lost their way to the point where actually they're an occupied city. It's not even the Jewish people themselves who rule it. They are controlled by the Romans, and before the Romans, the Greeks. It's a city that has fallen into disrepair in a spiritual sense, and that it has fallen so far away from God's intention for it.
And that's why when we have the heart of God and the vision of Jesus, our hearts break for the people that aren't in relationship with him. We can't simply commoditize our faith of what we get out of it. There's a great concern for us, for the people who are not yet part of God's kingdom. And so it causes us to weep over the city as well.
This is Eric Kampmann, and this has been Sunrise, and have a great day.